Hi guys, wee Bob here, and I'm out on the beach. This is the third time I have hit record today. First of all it was people, and then I get stuck in a swamp. My feet had got actually fully submerged, and I have to say these Gillette shoes that I was talking about are fantastic. So my feet are still dry, touch wood, if I can find wood. A bit mucky now, and I'm out walking along the kind of front. It's a wee bit kind of disgusting. It's like a swamp that I'm walking through, or it was worse a minute ago. It's not so bad now. Then I'm walking over to the beach, and I thought I'd talk about the subscriber thing, and I've tried, like I said, 3 times to do it. I'm kind of coming over a crest of a hill, hoping that I don't bump into people. So I am walking along where Aaron is. The sun is high in the sky still, and it's glinting off the sea, which is relatively calm. It's a lovely day, lovely evening. My young son, he's my oldest boy, he's the only boy I've got. He's away to a ceilidh, which is kind of Scottish dancing, traditional Scottish dancing kind of party. So you can look on Google if you want to see where it is. Literally at a beach that's unoccupied by anybody. Just a little tiny kind of fingernail beach. Lovely, absolutely lovely. So you can see a cruise ship, I think, out at sea, and the birds are flying through the sky, and I'm just trying to pick my way through this terrain because it's been a bit challenging. But anyway, the reason I was coming out was to do my subscribers. Do they matter? The number you've got, how much is it a gauge of success? I'm hoping I can cut across to this beach because that's what I want to do. Excuse me. So anyway, subscribers, listened to Swifto, made a whole bunch of notes. I've left the notes in the house, unfortunately, and so I'm kind of winging this, and we'll see how it goes. I don't know what I'll put this voice to. I'm not going to hold the camera constantly, but found my way onto the beach through some daisies and some jaggy things. But subscriber numbers, why Swifto did this in a kind of particular format. He kind of started off talking about how his channel came about, why he started it, and I'll let you go and listen to him rather than me telling you all of his answers. But I thought I'd do a kind of similar format and see where my thought train goes, even though I did have notes to try and cover specific things. So I get into YouTube. I've been doing YouTube actually on and off for years. I've had a few channels, nothing that's ever took off and nothing that I've ever sustained. Just a place for me to upload videos. So when if we just kind of come fast forward a wee bit, I'm not going to tell you about my childhood when I used to get a tape recorder out and pretend I was a newsreader. Or talk about games and stuff like that, because that's maybe for a different time, because this video's got subscriber numbers. But that's something I did growing up. I used to listen to my voice back and be like, oh my goodness, is that what I sound like? And so this YouTube channel that I started, which now has about 623 subscribers, I think it is today, really started out in kind of 2015. Kind of Christmas 2015, I got my drawing tablet, and I got it to do animations because I had been working on a game up until then, weirdly called Skid Marks, but it wasn't to do with cars, which is an older game. It was more of the rude type. I thought kind of toilet humour might be a way to go with a game and people might like it. So I'd been working on this game. I released it to Android, iOS, which is the Apple Play Store thing. Apple actually rejected it on indecent humour grounds or something like that. So that was I've took it down since because I moved in a different direction. That's my thing. I think about something, I try it, and then I move in a different direction. Probably YouTube's the longest thing I've done that's been kind of consistent. But Made this app wholeheartedly trying to sell it through my company. It didn't go anywhere. I was trying to do it for free with adverts included. So that then led me to think, okay, what else is popular? And I'd been looking online, looking at all the app stores, going through to see what was popular, and I seen this storybook, which was kind of storybook pages with animations, and I thought, okay, I'm not going into the full details here because, like I say, this video is to do with subscriber numbers. But ultimately, it led me to do a picture book, interactive story called Doug the Pug. I've talked about that in the past, and I spent 4 months, January till April, on 2016, making this Doug the Pug app, and literally every night was spent coding, every night was spent drawing, and I was really learning to draw. And if you ever see the app, you'll see my drawing skills were pretty poor, and I'm hoping to redraw it at some point. However, that led me to another failure. Doug the Pug didn't take off, the business model didn't work, and I was just like kind of despondent about the fact that I had made yet another app and it didn't go anywhere. So I've made other apps since then, one called Disaster Run, which never get released. I got it up to a point and then get bored. Another one called Cube, which I've not released, and I've continued programming. I was then doing some software at the beginning of this year, which I spoke about in my channel back then, but that's more financial based stuff, nothing exciting. So anyway, 2016, while I was doing the art for Doug the Pug, I was listening to YouTube channels, and I think I typed in old gaming channels or something, and eventually I found a few channels. The channel I found was Nova Bugs, which is Chris. I found Dean Thompson, who is Escape to Gaming, and that was kind of the main two channels that I watched. Try to think of anybody else I was watching, maybe Scott's Games Asylum and Shen Muso potentially as well at that point. And it kind of enlightened me to this whole community thing of YouTubers who liked games, old games, who were then talking about them in front of the camera, maybe doing some gameplays, and I thought, wow, this is cool. This is me getting some nostalgia trip. Really interested in this, and I'm going to watch it while I'm drawing. So I was drawing away, and I then decided, I think it was Novabug decided to put out a Friday foursome, and I seen one coming up, and it was classic movie tie-in games. And there's people on the beach up here, so I might just hang around here to finish this off rather than continuing my walk. I'm out on the rocks, which is nice. But so movie tie-in games, Friday foursome. I'm thinking, okay, this is the one. I can go out to my cabin, because we had a wee log cabin that we just built out the back door, which was our cinema. So I'd got a projector and stuff. You can see that in my first video. We were living, like we were in a council house, an ex-council house that had belonged to a family member. We bought it, and we had done it up, and we needed more space because, like I always mention, I've got 5 kids, so every bit of space gets used. And we decided, okay, let's build this 5 metre by 5 metre cabin out the back door. So anyway, I went out there and filmed my first Friday foursome, which you can go and check out. Now I can't remember whether that's my first video. I don't think it necessarily was, but it's kind of that got me into it, was this idea that I could respond to a community, and that would maybe make people interested in coming across to my channel. So I filmed a few videos, got some good feedback, posted them up, and people were like, oh, that's cool, I'll come over and watch it. A few people subscribed, and I came into kind of contact with some newer YouTubers themselves over that period. Mr. Bads, Paul, was a small channel at the time. Now he's grown a lot since then. I don't actually know where he is subscriber count wise, but I'm sure he's not too fussed. And other channels. But ultimately what happened was I was watching the Friday foursome response that Novabug did, and he kind of made somebody win. Who won this week's Friday foursome? or this month's Friday foursome, and at that time it was Mr. Mamemeister, and that was kind of my introduction to Alan's channel. Didn't know who he was, and I'm sure he won this Friday foursome that I was kind of part of doing a response to. So I went over to Alan's channel. Wasn't overly, because I mean I already had quite a few channels I was watching, so I wasn't like, oh, subscribing to Alan's this big YouTuber, but he was Scottish and I thought, okay, I'll subscribe, and I subscribed and never paid a great deal of attention. Don't take that the wrong way, Alan. It just wasn't, I was just busy with things, and so it led me to start this channel, started building up, got a few numbers from there, and in the same time 2016 went past, I was carrying on doing my channel updates every now and again, and I wasn't always getting the notion to do them because I was learning to draw at the time as well. I was using my pad and drawing and putting my pictures up on Facebook. Family, friends would see them and go, oh, they're nice. And I put up a few things up on YouTube at that time as well, so it kind of trundled away. I wasn't really interested in making it big on YouTube. What my plan was that I could do YouTube, and then I'm just trying to make sure I don't go through this swamp again, but I could make YouTube videos when I wanted, and it would be like memories for my kids to watch, or I could talk about old times when they weren't here, and things that my mum and dad maybe, we had things that we did, lightning storms that we seen, and I could maybe get them on a video format. I could just swallowed a fly, so I've just choked to death there. I could maybe get my memories into a video format that my kids could watch one of these days, and it would be good. It would mean I could get my memories out of my head and put them down into a format. So that's kind of what was the kind of driver for me opening up my YouTube channel, was the Friday foursome, and the ability to get into a community and be part of that community. It wasn't really about subscriber numbers at that point. Now my boy had a channel, and he had over 2,000 subscribers, and he was always going on about how he can make it big on YouTube and all the rest of it. But anyway, what kind of happened was I went to Australia. During 2017, we were applying to go to Australia. We got our visa. We went out there, and again I've got a video describing why we went, why we come back very quickly, which I'll try and do a card for if I remember to do it. But 2017 was probably, I did stuff on my YouTube channel as well. It's really difficult to remember how often I was uploading, but I'd started really drawing at that time, really getting into my drawing. And we came back to Scotland early 2018, and again you'll see me getting the house, and it's kind of, the story's all there for you to see. Subscriber numbers, I can't really remember specifics of growth. I know where most of my growth came from, and it was through live streams. What I was doing was trying to figure out this YouTube thing, but basically we failed apps. I decided, I was always looking, I have always been looking throughout my whole life. I've done inventions, and I mean that from an electronic point of view. There was a guy came that I used to work for, come back to me trying to invent a new product for oil and gas industry, and my whole life's always been about what can I do to, I don't want to say make money, but it's the creativity side that's always come out. How can I make a living doing what I love and doing it whenever I want, waking up in the morning. I think everybody has this dream where you wake up in the morning and you don't have to go to work. You still want to work, but you don't want to respond to a boss, you don't want to be stuck to a schedule of hours, which I don't. I mean, I've got my own company as such, that's a causing argument, but I do have contracts to fulfill, and I still have to be fulfilling those contracts. But ultimately I've always chased this dream of how do I get myself independent of having a boss, and go to work when I want to and not go to work when I don't want to. So when it came to YouTube, I seen this opportunity, the failed apps. I seen this opportunity that said, okay, you can do this, Robert. You can actually make money from YouTube. People are like Chris was monetizing at the time, I think it was, and I was seeing like Kim Justice and Slopes Games Room. And I'm thinking, I can do this. This is something I can do, and I really started to look into what's the art of YouTube. How do you make YouTube a business? And really, that's where the drive came for getting subscribers. So this is kind of getting back to topic now. But subscribers, you need subscribers. You need this many subscribers to monetize, and how are you going to get them? So you start looking up things, and eventually it led me to live streams, and I started watching these streams where you get channel reviews and people were telling you, because obviously I typed into Google something like how to make it on YouTube, and you get a bunch of channels that do, well, we'll do a channel review, we'll look at your channel and we'll tell you what needs to be done and how it needs to be fixed and all that good stuff. So I'm kind of watching these channels religiously, and I'm saying to my kids, oh, I've figured it out, and I'm going to be up to 20,000 by this time next year, which passed. And so I started watching these channels, I started attending live streams, and these streams were very much where channels appeared, and other channels were like, oh, I checked out your channel, it looks really good, I've subscribed, or why don't you check out my stuff? And I'd go over, and then you were feeling the pressure of the whole sub for sub thing, and a lot of my numbers grew through that, but then obviously you don't get the views that match because those people aren't actually really interested in your channel. And that's not to say that not everybody you meet in those forums isn't interested, and you could argue that's what Alan was talking about in his response, where he's saying we support each other, we come across, we comment on each other's videos, but ultimately what happens in here is these people are just looking to get their numbers up so that YouTube will give them their monetization. So you're just a number. Whether you go and watch their videos or not, it doesn't matter. And like I was saying, a few of those people, like Sandra, who comments on my art videos, she's maybe one of the channels I found through that process, because a paranormal channel, somebody who kind of deals in that, it's not something that I would go and look for, but she subscribed and commented a number of my videos, and I subscribed to her. And even though I can't really watch most of her videos because paranormal stuff scares me, I have watched a couple and I've commented, and she's gave me support, and it's nice that some people did, and it's nice to have been expanded my horizons. So I got probably quite a few hundred subscribers through being in live streams, getting my channel reviewed. So I had one of these times when my channel get featured. And obviously the featuring channels, they're featuring this channel and they're telling you, oh, you need to do this, thumbnails, and you need to brand yourself and all this stuff. I'm walking over rocks just in case I make funny noises. But then you get up and you get featured and people are like, oh, I like your channel, and you gain subscribers. But you then get the comment saying something like, oh, I've checked you out, you check me out, and it turns again into a sub for sub thing. So it's difficult to gauge. I didn't like it. I even commented in a few these channels that did the reviews saying I don't like this format of you come into your channel and I'm genuinely interested in some of the things you've got to say because I think they're real, but I'm always coming in here and getting this, oh, I subscribe to you, subscribe to me chat. When it kind of diminished, it was kind of around the time that YouTube changed their rules to say that you needed this many subscribers and this many hours, and it's just it wasn't for me, and so I basically drifted away from even going near that. I was even actually frightened to go near live streams for the fear of people saying that to me, and I needed to drift away from that. So that's what I did. I wanted to focus on my drawings. I wanted to focus more because I was ending up talking in live streams and just not doing any artwork, not doing any actual content for my videos, too busy in live streams talking about my banner and all that stuff. And I just thought I need to get away from this, so I did. Anyway, I'm going to pause this here and restart so that I've got 2 audio files. See how long I've been blabbing for. 20 minutes so far. So yeah, I mean, I went down this route that I've went back a couple of times just to see if it's changed at all. And I mean, some of these channels, I mean, there's one channel that has grown massively. I mean, I joined them when they had 2,000 subscribers and now above 10,000, I think, or they must be approaching 10,000. And their format is they do channel reviews and they encourage people to support each other. And they also do tech reviews, and they've had some really good interviews with guests, one being the creator or animator of, what do you call it, Earthworm Jim. So, I mean, they definitely have a nice format. It's a kind of husband and wife that do it. And I mean, they still do this channel review and people flock to their channel to try and get featured, and that's what I did because it does get your subscriber number up. But that's no organic growth. That's not people who actually want to watch your channel. They're there to try and get support. And I think that's part of the problem of having a community. It's part of, like Swifto said in his video, Alan, you couldn't watch all of Alan's videos because Alan puts out, and I'm talking about Mamemeister here, he puts out at least 2 videos a week, if not 3, sometimes 4. And even myself, I don't have the time to go across to Alan's videos and watch them. I just don't have that kind of time. I mean, recently one of the channels I've started watching is one called Rev. Whoops, daisy. See, you're nearly full. Rev LPG, or Last Place Gaming, and another Scottish guy does some kind of Minecraft stuff, which is kind of funny. Sorry, that is funny. That's why I go. And it's nice to go back into a live stream that's not just all about I support you, you support me, all that stuff. And it's nice to have seen organic growth on my channel. So I've kind of gave you the kind of lead up. I mean, I've got, like I say, 623 subscribers. How many of them are genuine people who have came along and subscribed? I would expect quite a few, because I do think I put out okay content. I don't always spend as much time because I can't. But I would expect that maybe I get about 30 or 40 views a video, so I'm guessing at least 30 or 40 of those subscribers are people who come back and watch. Could be delusional, I don't know. And I'm happy with that now. I've gave up again. It's one of these things for me. I've got this thing about chasing a dream. Oh, I'm going to make it up to 20,000 subscribers. And it's not the reason I started YouTube, it's definitely not. I started YouTube to get part of the community, and then seen a business opportunity and thought, yeah, something else to drive it. And that just defines my kind of life, kind of very, and it's not to sound arrogant, it's not to sound, but I've always been driven. My mum and dad had kind of bog standard jobs and they were always working, and it built a kind of work ethic into me that said you need to try and drive to get to where you want to be. Now recently I've kind of changed that philosophy down to I'm already where I want to be, but I can set myself goals to things but not pursue them with a blind look into the future. I actually enjoy the moment, which is my kind of new thing. But do subscribers matter? And they do. I mean, you guys out there who watch my channel, who comment, again I could name, but the main people that off the top of my head is Alan sometimes comments, Swifto definitely comments, it was Neil, Nifty Retro Gamer, who's kind of taking a sabbatical at the moment. Hopefully you're alright out there, mate, because I did message you on Twitter, and I don't think I've got a response yet, but I'm hoping you're okay. Try to think Sandra does. There's Banjo, I think his name is, always writes cool, not very much else. And there's this kind of group of people, and like Alan says, he doesn't like naming names because you always forget somebody, Kev down the rabbit hole. And there's always people who come along and say hi and leave a comment, something nice. I'm lucky, I've never really been trolled as such. I've never had negative comments on anything. So I've had quite a pleasant experience with YouTube and subscribers. Would I like to be big on YouTube? And I think the answer's probably not. I think if I could be like a Slopes Games Room, I wouldn't like to be massive on YouTube. Is that what I want out of YouTube? I guess this is one of the difficult things. You're talking about one thing, you're kind of flipping it around a wee bit. But Swifto was obviously saying, don't care about YouTube subscribers and don't make that your only pursuit and don't let it get you down. Again, go and watch Swifto's video for a full kind of rundown of his thoughts on it. But subscriber numbers did get me down. Try to think, like when I was pursuing it, when I was like, okay, there's been a few occasions when I've thought, this is it, I have made the best video that I've ever made and it's going to be brilliant. And then it's just literally dive bombed. And like a lot of my apps, like a lot of things I try in life, I fail at them. It bothers me that I fail at them, but it doesn't bother me because I usually find that something's came out of the other end. So with Doug the Pug, I learned how to draw, learned how to program. Me and my family had a great time doing the voices for it. And so a few videos that I put out, the Halloween one I did with my kids, I thought this is brilliant. And when you look back at it, when I look back at it, I go, that's a brilliant family movie. And that's exactly what it is. It's a brilliant family movie. It's not a director fantastic movie. It is something that I'm going to look back with my family and go, that was great to make. It's not something like a big blockbuster. It's just, I enjoyed making it. I thought the outcome was good. And that's it. I mean, that's what I'll need to look back at it as. It was a great family movie. And another one, my drawings, I've thought, oh, these are actually pretty decent. Surely these will get some views because I've put a lot of effort into them. And it's weird because what you do is you draw something, and at the time, I know when I draw stuff, I'm like, oh, that looks pretty good. I'm quite pleased. And then you put it up on YouTube, and about 6 months later you look back and go, oh my goodness, why did I draw that like that? Why did I draw that like that? That looks totally wrong. And you criticise yourself to death because that's what artist type people do. You criticise your work. Swifto talks about his crappy animations and they're bloody brilliant because the artist is their worst critic normally. So a few times I've thought this is a video that gets me subscribers and this is going to be great. I'm going to be able to quit my job and become a full-time YouTuber because I've got the formula. The formula's going to work for me, and it just doesn't happen, and it gets you frustrated and you're like, oh my goodness, what's going on? Why is YouTube not recommending my video? When all these other, you start comparing yourself to like minded channels that do have subscribers, and you just don't make it. So for me, subscribers matter. They matter from the people that you meet. They matter from another subject I've got is like friends on YouTube, and I want to kind of do a separate thing on that. But subscribers matter. They matter because they're persons, and they matter because somebody might have come along and seen a drawing video and want to see another drawing video, but they don't want to see me vlogging. They don't want to hear this crap that I'm talking just now. They want the drawings and the drawings only. And that's understandable, and I don't mind. I mean, maybe the 30 views I get in my artwork is a different 30 people from the 30 people that watch my vlogs. It's just an interesting mix. I could go into analytics and I could go into how long somebody watched my video for, how long has somebody did this for, who turned off, where are they from, are they female, are they male? And I just wouldn't. I could sit there and consume myself with the whole YouTube circus, and to be one of these big YouTubers, you literally, that's probably my biggest issue with YouTube, and why I'm glad I've got 600 subscribers. Would I like 1,000 like Swifto was saying? Yes, I would like 1,000 people to come and watch my videos. Would I like 2,000? Would I like 10,000? Yes, because then somebody's coming along and I've maybe spent hours and hours on a piece of artwork or a vlog or editing a video, and I get nice comments and maybe I get a bad comment, and that's just what YouTube is. But I wouldn't be complaining if YouTube turned into my ability to bring in some money. I couldn't, because I just think that you could, but the problem, this is where the problem comes, this is where my problem with YouTube comes in. It's more that you are choked to death by YouTube's requirements. You're choked to death by people's expectations in this kind of modern day society. So if I was to become a YouTuber, if I know for a fact that if I did just drawing and nothing else, I would get more views. If I was to put out a drawing regularly, but the problem I have with that is that it's not what I want to do. Sometimes I'm not in the mood for drawing, like I was talking about in my no motivation, or I'm losing my motivation. I lost my motivation for drawing because I had got my gaming set up and I was playing Uncharted and I was enjoying being a gamer. But when you have sold your soul to YouTube, you don't have a choice if you want to maintain an audience. If you want to maintain this, people coming and viewing and you making your living from it, you have to perform. The show must go on. It's just the old adage of, if you're a performer, you're expected to perform regardless of whether you want to or not. It's just, that's what that industry requires. That's what YouTube requires. They require performing monkeys who follow a formula. And like a lot of us small YouTubers, that is where we fall down. That's where we don't meet that mould. We're not the young person, or we're not the prettiest person. We're not willing to cut our clothing standards. I was watching a thing called Dark Mirror, I think. It's the thing that Bandersnatch was done on. And it's on Netflix. And it's a series. I've only watched 2 episodes. The first episode was frankly weird. I got the point they were trying to make, but it was just odd. And the second episode was this guy wakes up. I'm getting bitten by flies, I'm going to have to go back in. But this guy wakes up in a room, and the whole thing is that you build up these credits by cycling on a bike to get your chance to buy a ticket to what was the X Factor. Now, they didn't use the X Factor because it was the BBC, but they were basically slagging the whole X Factor model, this manufactured band, the manufactured person. And I'm not going to spoil it in case somebody wants to go watch it, but ultimately the person builds themselves up and they get to a point where they can buy a ticket for this show, and it doesn't necessarily go the way they want it to go, because the big corporate guys want this person to be somebody that they're not trying to be. And to get subscribers on YouTube and to get that and I don't necessarily agree that subscribers and the number of subscribers don't matter. I think they do. I think people can get into the corporate machine of YouTube and get a lot of subscribers, which ultimately means that you reach certain goals on YouTube's land. But you have to sell your soul to get there, unless that's your entire thing. And it's not me. I'm a variety channel. I have mentioned about using the other channel, and that is a wee bit of a business thing, me putting my artwork on this other channel, because it's a bit of an experiment to see is that how I can attract people to my drawings. Ultimately, when I'm talking about that, what I'm thinking in the future is, can I retire on this money? Could I make a YouTube channel that just does artwork, that ticks over, gets a good amount of subscribers, and then it brings in an income, which, when you don't have necessarily all the monetary requirements for retirement, like I perhaps don't or do, it still remains to be seen, but everybody also gets a pension and all the rest of it. if you can bring in a wee bit extra money, 50 quid a week, something like that, then it's going to help you in retirement. And that's kind of whether YouTube's here when I'm retired, I don't know, but something will be. And if I've got 100 art drawings that people will watch and I can get paid for it, or even I can sell prints, then it brings in something that I can then be comfortable when I retire, which I think is an okay thing to pursue. It is kind of, again, tying in with society, because I could die tomorrow and it's never really going to matter. But anyway, guys, that's me. I've been blabbing for quite some time. The weird thing is, Alan says he doesn't listen to his stuff back. Unfortunately, I do, and then I've got to edit it to try and delete the bits. Like I just coughed my guts up. I'll need to cut that out, because I then couldn't speak until I got a drink of water. And it's just I realise I've been blabbing on for some time, so I've not drawn anything. But anyway, I'll go back to subscribers just to kind of tie everything up. Swifto's, I might not have answered all the things I wanted to touch on with regards to Swifto's responses, because, like I says, my notes are in the house. But I feel I've kind of went where I wanted to go. I do appreciate every subscriber. I wouldn't object to having more subscribers. Do I think they matter? Yes, I do. I think they matter if you would like maybe a business opportunity out of YouTube. I think they don't matter when you're looking at a community side of it. And I think you can do both. I think you can have subscriber numbers and you can still have that core people. That might be part of the problem in the bigger channels. I know that Alan's mentioned a few times about that community and the people like the Kim Justices and the Daniels and the people who are in that little group. And I would probably say that that's why they are that way, because they can't look after 100,000, they can't look after 10,000 people, they can't look after 5,000 people. They have to select this group of people that they are going to support. And it's a wee bit like any superstar to me. It's like J.K. Rowling, or she puts in place a charity to try and run what she can support. She can't answer everybody's questions. She can't answer everybody's plea for help. So she has to select who she surrounds herself with, and I think that's what bigger YouTubers do. I think they get to the point where they realise, I can't go and support. Now, I'm not saying that they shouldn't bring little channels up, but they're ultimately moving towards a business model, which means that they have to sell their souls. That's why I wouldn't want big subscribers, and I would probably have two separate channels, and then you'd be like, they have enough time to do two channels. But literally you have to get to the point where you sell your soul and you say, this is a business for me. This is not a, hi, I'm wee Bob and I want to say hello to you, which I'm not. I love that part of YouTube. I love the fact that I have met people like Swifto and Alan and Chris and Scott's Games Asylum and Dean Thompson and Lawn Boys Post, all these people. I'm so happy they're in my life, and I'm so happy that you email or comment and they comment back, and like you go to a gaming thing and you meet him, you meet the man who is Alan Mamemeister, and you have a brief discussion with him, and it's great. But for me, that doesn't mean that you have to reject becoming a big YouTuber. Do I think it's possible? No. I think it's, sorry, let me rephrase that. And this is kind of a Sardonic Pickle phrase. At this point in time, I think it is still possible to be big on YouTube if you follow a formula. I don't think it's probable, and my life has to live on the fact that I am an engineer. I go to work, I get my money, I pay my bills, my kids can go to school with clothes and shoes, and they're getting bigger now, so more money gets freed up for me to maybe spend a wee bit on a gaming console or something. But if YouTube then grew big tomorrow, one of my drawings gets noticed and it gets put up on something, and suddenly you get an explosion of views, and it leads to something and it leads to something. I don't see why I would reject that if there was, like, again, it comes back to the whole pop culture thing. It comes back to to the, whenever you watch these artist things, if you watch Bohemian Rhapsody, Freddie Mercury wants his style of music, he wants this operatic song, and the label's like, no, you'll sing this, and he's like, no, I want to sing this, because that makes them money, that's their formula. One thing that popped into my brain there was Swifto's comments about beliefs, and I quite well agree with him on a lot of points, which was, this life matters. This life is something that you have to, in my opinion, enjoy. I mean, I'm standing here looking at Arran, looking across the sea, the sun glinting off the waves are crashing in, maybe not crashing because they're tiny. There's a boat on the horizon, there's Ailsa of Craig. It's absolutely stunning out here, and I mean stunning. It is just beautiful. And I think if you run through your life, yes, I have a belief, I've got a belief, Christian belief, something I study constantly outside of my YouTube life. Every day on the way to work I'm studying philosophy. Every night I go to sleep and I'm listening to something. I'm always interested in learning what I believe, why I believe it. But ultimately what I was trying to say is fame and fortune. Fame and fortune has the same baggage that comes with many walks of life. I mean, it's just one of those things. There's pros and cons to everything, and you just have to be a wee bit more focused on what you have and not what you want all the time. Now, it's easy to say that, but it's something I've been practicing a lot recently, and it's really working for me. May not work for other people, but it's working for me. Anyway, I think I've said enough. I think I'll leave it there. I don't know whether I've tied up all my points or whether I've even covered all the points I wanted to cover, but this is probably the longest ramble that I've done, and I hope I've not bored you to tears, but something to listen to maybe in a couple of parts. I don't know what I'll put it to. I should really record some of this sunset, but I might do, we'll see. Anyway guys, cheers for listening to me, cheers for watching, commenting and subscribing, and cheers. Wee Bob is out.